Allison, popping in to talk about how you can effectively grow your business with limited time chunks every day. And I'm excited because I know a lot of you guys have a full-time job. You might have multiple jobs and you're trying to start or grow your online business on the side. And it's a challenge, and I've been there because I had a full-time photography business for many years that I was working by myself when I decided to start my online business, and I only had a limited time each day. So I have been there, I can relate, and I know it's not the easiest thing in the world. So today I'm just gonna share some steps that you can literally take today, and I encourage you to take them today or tomorrow, that you can take to start maximizing your time every single day. Okay, so I have some slides that I want to share with you guys, so I'm gonna start that. So, like I said, today is all about how to effectively grow your business with limited time each day. If you currently have a full-time job or a second job or a third job, let me know in the comments. I'm just curious to see how many of you guys are working on a business and working another job at the same time. So share that below. This is all about working smarter and not harder. And this applies to you no matter how much time you have. Whether you only have 30 minutes a day or you've got a full 8-hour day to grow your business, it's always about working smarter, not harder, because working harder and longer does not equal more growth. You could literally put in 12-hour days, but if you're not working on the right things, if you're not working on things that actually have a real impact on your business, then your business isn't gonna grow anymore. And back in like 2015, 2016, I was working my butt into the ground. I was working 12-hour days, and yeah, I saw some growth, but I was working way more than I needed to on things that I didn't need to be spending that much time on, and consequently it was just my mental and physical health started to suffer a little bit. So really want to be talking about working smarter, not harder. So if you don't have 12 hours a day to work on your business, good. You don't need 12 hours a day. You can make lots of progress in even just a concentrated 30 minutes a day. Who's with me? So as I said, I'm just gonna quickly share 6 steps that you could do today, encourage you to do them today, to start maximizing your time and your effort to start seeing better results in your business. If you don't do them today, then I encourage you to do them tomorrow, but do them sometime within the next 24 hours. It's totally doable. So I actually have some colorful little worksheets for you guys. There is a direct Dropbox download link. If you click that, they're going to just start downloading. And if you're on a phone, then I encourage you, you might have issues because sometimes phones are really weird about direct links, direct download links. Go ahead and download your worksheets. I'm gonna be going pretty fast, so you might not have time to actually fill them out as we're going, but definitely when we're done with this, go ahead and fill out your worksheets sometime within the next 24 hours. Okay, are we ready to go through the 6 steps? Sorry, I'm getting excited, and that means accents are coming out. Just happens. Okay, so when you do these 6 steps, you're gonna know exactly how to spend your limited time. You are gonna get more done more quickly. You're gonna see better results because you are working on better things. Remember, it is smarter, not harder, and you're going to be able to maximize all of your time and your effort, especially if you only have a small window of time to be working on your business. Step number 1, dramatic drum roll. Identify your bridge. This is the first step to maximizing your time and effort. And I want to quickly share an exercise that I originally learned from my business mentor, James Wedmore. I don't know if he came up with it himself or if he originally learned it from someone, but it's an exercise that perfectly illustrates a point that I am always trying to make and sounding like a broken record about when it comes to, like, you know, being more productive and effective and getting stuff done. So we're gonna start off with a little exercise that we're calling the bridge exercise. And this represents most entrepreneurs, not all, but most. So here we have Present Island on the left, and this is where you are today. You're working on your business, you're getting shiz done. This is literally you today. And then over on the right-hand side, we have Desire City, and this is where you have reached your goals. This is where you've reached your revenue goals. You're working the hours that you want to work. You're working where you want to work. Maybe you're traveling more, or maybe you've purchased your first home. All of those things that you have that you're working towards, those are in Desire City. But you're over on the left on Present Island. So in order to get from Present Island to Desire City, you start building a bridge. Let's say you're like, yo, I'm gonna create and launch a course, and that's how I'm gonna make all of my business things happen. So you start building that bridge, you're creating your course. Oh, but then you listen to a podcast episode, and the person on the podcast is like, oh my goodness, yo, you have got to start a membership site. Membership sites are where it's at. So you're like, oh my gosh, I got to start a membership site too. So you start building the membership site bridge. But then you read a blog post and they're like, oh my gosh, coaching is where it's at. You gotta do coaching. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna work on group coaching, maybe an ebook there on the side. You're working on that bridge and you're almost done, but wait, you're like, I also need to maybe start an affiliate program. So I'm just gonna like start this affiliate program. And before you know it, you've got a bunch of bridges, but none of them are actually finished or functioning well. And this is where most entrepreneurs work on multiple bridges, aka main projects, at once, and they never finish any of them. How many of you watching this right now have multiple projects going on? I'm just curious. Let me know in the comments if you have more than one project. But the problem is that when you've got multiple projects going on, it takes much longer to finish any of them. But most people not only work on multiple projects at once, but if they do finish these bridges, they don't take the time to actually refine the bridge and make sure that it is structurally sound before moving on to the next one. So even if they finish a bridge, they don't know, it's not even working. It's got holes in it. It's not structurally sound. It's dangerous to cross. And so they've got all of these lackluster bridges. And so this is the important point that I want to drive home, is working on multiple projects. Most of you, many of you, some of you might have heard of context switching. It's an actual thing. You could literally Google it, but not right now because I want you to finish watching this. But context switching is a literal thing, and it's basically just multitasking. It's when you're switching from project to project and project. And it has been proven that every time you switch focus on projects, you are literally wasting time and energy every single time. And the guesstimate here is you waste 20% of time every time you switch. So if I have an hour, I'm working on a project, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna switch gears and start this other project. Every time I switch, it takes my brain, if I'm setting aside an hour, it's gonna take my brain 20 minutes just to get back into the flow and into the zone of that next project. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you get into the zone and you are like focused and it's just coming out, it's working, you are in the flow. But when you switch or you get interrupted, sometimes it's really hard to get back into the flow, and that's an actual thing. It will literally take your brain time to catch up. So you're wasting time and energy every single time that you switch. And it's also been proven that if you focus on just one main project at a time, you're going to get it done faster versus trying to do and finish them all at once. And that's what I used to do. I would do like 10 projects and I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna be ahead of the game because I'm gonna finish all 10 at once. And what would happen is, be like a million months later and I hadn't finished any of them, or I hadn't done any of them very well. And a lot of times people like to do this, myself included. You like to work on multiple things because it feels safer, and you're like, okay, well, if one of the projects sucks, well, that's cool because I've got like other projects that I'm working on too. And so it's the safe thing to do, but it's not the smart thing to do. So what I want you to do is to take action. These are on your worksheets. If you came in late, there's a link above this video where you can download your worksheets. It's an instant download. But I want you to actually write down your bridge, all of your current bridges. So your bridges are just your main projects, all of the main projects that you are currently working on. And the majority of your main projects should be revenue generating activities. So I'll give you some examples here in a minute. But I want you to go ahead, write down all your bridges. If you don't have any yet, well, then you'll need to come up with, one revenue generating bridge for your business. But like examples of this would be, creating and launching a course. That is a main project that is revenue generating. So that is a bridge. Or creating and launching a coaching program, or creating and launching a membership site. Pretty much creating and launching anything that you want to sell is a bridge. Or setting up an affiliate program, or even repairing an existing bridge. So like maybe, as I said earlier, you've got a finished bridge, but it's not really working. So you need to a main project would be to actually take the time to repair an existing bridge. So write down your things. And again, you might not have time to do this because I'm going to buzz through all of the steps real quick, but definitely take the time to do this today if you can. Then what I want you to do is choose just one bridge. Just one bridge, because being more effective starts with focusing on and completing just one bridge at a time. And you do not start another bridge until your chosen bridge is both completed and it's refined. You've actually taken the time to see that it is working, there's not holes, it's not collapsing. Trust me, y'all, when you work on one main project at a time, it is a game changer. And I know it might be scary to, choose just one thing to work on, but all the real growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So I challenge you to do this. If you do not know which bridge to choose, well, then think about these things. What are you the most excited about? Like literally, if you got multiple bridges, what gives you those little tingles of excitement? Or what bridge is the closest to being finished? Maybe you've been working on something for months and it's really close to being done, but you just haven't finished it yet. Or think about what bridge would be the easiest to finish. Maybe you could finish something in a week or two if you just sat down and did it. So these are some things to consider, but ultimately just go with your gut, you guys. Just go with your gut. Most of the time, your gut is not going to be wrong. So just listen to your gut. Go with the one that you hear the little whisper telling you to do. But the bottom line is focus on just one main project at a time. Do not start another until your current project is both completed and refined. Okay, that was step number 1. Moving on to step number 2. It is time to write down the steps. So literally, this is just what it sounds like. You're going to break down your chosen main project by literally just writing down all of the small, specific action items that you need to do in order to complete your project, aka your main bridge. There's room for this on your worksheet, but you just want to take like 10 or 15 minutes to just brain dump all of the steps. And the more small and specific you can be about what each step is, the better. So for example, I'm just gonna use creating a course as an example because that's what I've done so many times. But let's say your main bridge is to create a course. Well, you want to break that down into teeny tiny action steps so it's not overwhelming. So step number 1, outline the course. Step number 2, purchase video editing software. Step number 3, create slides for the opening module. So break it, make each step as small and specific as possible, because when you have these big generic steps, it's overwhelming, and that is a lot of times what causes people to put things off, is because they see this step on their to-do list and then they get overwhelmed because it's big and blah, I don't even know where to start. So write down all of the steps. It should take 10 to 15 minutes. And this makes the project way more doable. Plus, it's super satisfying. It's like instant relief and space in your brain. So, take action, write down all the steps on your worksheet, literally make them as small and specific as you can, everything you need to do that you can think of in order to complete your bridge. And you might come up with more steps as you go. Frequently, I will brain dump all the steps for a main project, and then, as I'm working on the project, I will figure out more steps, and then I'll just add them in. But just write down all the steps that you can think of for right now. The third step to maximizing your time and growing your business in little time chunks every day is to identify your top 5%. So what are the 5% of activities that are responsible for 95% of your results? And when I mean results, I'm talking about the activities that have a direct impact on your bottom line or your most important business things, like your revenue, for example. So an example of, and this is going to vary depending on what type of business you have, but generally for like an online business, things like sending a sales email, that's an activity that has a direct impact on your sales because you are sending an email encouraging people to buy something that you have. Or planning and doing a webinar where you sell something at the end. That's a revenue generating activity that's going to directly affect your bottom line. Or doing a phone consultation. Maybe you take on clients and you need to have phone consultations with people to get them on board as a customer. So doing a phone consultation is an example of a 5% activity. Getting traffic inside of your sales funnel. So if you have a sales funnel set up to sell something that you have on Evergreen, then a 5% activity would be really focused tasks on getting traffic inside of that funnel because it's going to impact your bottom line. Whereas examples of non-5% activities are things like tweaking your website for the millionth time. How many of y'all love tweaking your website? Because that was one of the activities that I would do all the time, because I would be like, I should do something else, but I could just tweak my homepage a little more, perfect the graphic a little more, and tweak this, tweak that. Plus, it's really fun. But it's not a 5% activity, nor is, for most people, checking your email. Spending all day in email, checking your email, getting back to other people and what they want instead of working on the things that you need to work on. Messing around on Canva or Pinterest. I love Canva and Pinterest, but if you're just like messing around, creating graphics all day, or if you're just pinning things on Pinterest all day, it's not a 5% activity. It's not the best use of your time. Things like networking on social media. Now, I love social media. I think it's important to build relationships, but if you are continually on social media, throughout your entire day, like looking around in groups and things like that, it's not going to be the best use of your time, especially if you have limited time. So what I want you all to do is to write down your 5% activities. Again, this is on your worksheet. So literally just spend, 5 minutes writing down all of the types of activities that you could do that would have the biggest impact on your bottom line. Thinking about the examples that we just covered. And a hint, these, you guys, are usually the most scary things. So the 5% activities, if you're ever not sure what is a 5% activity, look at your to-do list and pick the item that scares you the most or that makes you feel the most uncomfortable. And that is generally going to be the activity that is going to be your 5% and is also going to grow your business the most. A lot of times if you got a to-do list and you fill it with things that are non-5% activities that are easy, that are comfortable, you're always going to choose those first and put off the one that is scary. So write down your 5% and go with the scary activities. But the bottom line is that anytime you all are wondering what to prioritize, just do one of the activities from your top 5% list. All right. Moving on to step number 4 out of 6 is to refine and schedule. Oh my goodness, I'm obsessed with scheduling things. So this is just what it sounds like. You need to refine and schedule your list of items that you wrote down in step 2 so that the important shiz actually gets done. So in order to take action on this, you need to first delete and delegate. So look at the list of action items that you wrote down from step 2, and you're also going to look at the list of top 5% activities that you wrote down in the last step. And I want you to go through and cross off anything that you can delete. If you wrote down anything that is not 100% necessary for getting the bridge done, or it's not a 5% activity, go ahead and just delete it all together. So cross off what you can delete, and then circle anything that you could maybe delegate to someone else. If you have a VA, if you have any help, if you're thinking about getting a VA or help, which can be done totally affordably, circle anything that you can get help with to take off your plate, and then just schedule what is left. Literally go through, schedule all of the remaining action items in your favorite calendar system for specific days and times, specific being capitalized, because it's really important that you're not just being like, okay, I'm gonna work on it this week. I want you to actually plug each action item onto specific days at specific times, and remember, only one main project, aka bridge, until your current project is completed and refined. And I want you to be really good about keeping integrity to yourself. You know, if you say you're going to work on your business for, 30 minutes every Tuesday, then unless there is like some, big emergency, stick to that. Honor yourself, honor your business, your goals, and your time, and stick to that. You're not going to make progress if you find any excuse in the book to, I'll work on that later. Oh, yeah, coffee sounds fun. I'm going to go out for coffee instead. Really keep integrity to yourself. So, little side note, and then schedule what's left. So, Asana and Trello, if any of you guys are watching and you have a favorite calendar system that you like to use, feel free to share that in the comments. Asana and Trello are both free options. They're digital. I've used both of them. They're awesome. Just check them out if you haven't done them already. But like Asana is really like checklist oriented. So if you love checklists, that's probably going to be the one you love. Trello is like, it's checklists, but it's also got like boards. So just check out one of those or something else, but literally schedule the steps. And then step number 5. Oh yeah, this is, I had to put this in here because it's so important. Step number 5 to maximize your time every single day so you can grow your business is to be ruthless with distractions. So if you really want to maximize your time and your effort, you have got to be ruthless about eliminating all distractions during your scheduled work time. Put on your laser beam eyes and just, I don't know what I'm doing, but you're burning all distractions to the ground with your laser eyes. So when you are working, whether that is a 30-minute window, an hour window, a 2-hour window, first and foremost, put your dang phone on silent, put it out of reach, turn off the notifications so there's not all these little distracting dings and clicks and sounds going off, asking for your time and asking to be checked right away. Most phones, I know at least with iPhones, and I'm pretty sure all smartphones would have this feature, they have an emergency mode so that if someone tries calling you like 3 or 4 times in a row, it will go through and you will hear it. But unless it's an emergency, you can check it after you are done with your work time. And this is a huge one. Let me know if any of you all get distracted by your phone while you're working. And I generally just have notifications off altogether. Like I don't need to be checking my email all day, every day, things like that. So this is a big one. Also, closing out of all unrelated tabs, especially social media. You just have to do it. If you leave any social media tab open, like Facebook, it like tells you every time you get a notification. You can see it in your browser bar. And when you leave it open, you could be working on some great content and writing, and then you'll just happen to glance over and see that you have 2 new notifications. So you'll just, quickly check that real quick. But remember, context switching, your brain is going to take 20% of time just to be able to catch up to back to where you were when you left your project. So close out of tabs, check out Kill Newsfeed. It's a Google Chrome extension. If you haven't tried it, it's great. You install it and it literally kills the newsfeed when you get on Facebook. So like if you want to get on there for something business related, you're not going to get distracted by the newsfeed. And let your family know you are working. So if you have a family, if you can, just be like, yo, I'm working for 30 minutes. Don't interrupt me unless it's an emergency. If you have kids, something to consider is, can you get help? A babysitter for X amount of time a week where you can be focused on your business, so that you have that dedicated time, whether that's 30 minutes or an hour, but just let people know you're working, and then check social media and email outside of your time. So the time that you put in your calendar to work on your business, you're not checking your mail, because a lot of times that is like a can of rabbit holes, and it's a bunch of things that people want you to do for them, and it's their agenda and not yours. So don't check your email during your scheduled time. Don't check your social media out of your time. Your time is your sacred time to do the important shiz, to grow your business. I really want you guys to take these seriously. If you do these things, and there are probably other distractions that I could come up with, but these are 4 of the biggies. And if you just commit to these 4 biggies, it is going to make a huge difference when you're working. And if you're focused and not switching projects, it's going to make all the difference. And then step number 6, sign up for my free masterclass. If you haven't seen it yet, I recently created a new masterclass for those of you who want to grow an online business that runs on passive income from digital products, because that's what I'm really passionate about teaching. So if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to sign up for that, because we cover more actionable steps to help you get better results. So this is really about, for those of you, I mean, you can watch it if you have like physical products and stuff too, but this is really for those of you who are trying to create passive income with digital products. We go into specific tools, specific strategies. We talk about the main chunks and pieces that you have to have working in order for everything to kind of fit together. And I give you 5 more very specific actions that you can literally take this week to start seeing better results in your business. And they're not really time-consuming things, but they're 5 things that can really make a big impact. So I encourage you to sign up for that today or tomorrow. I don't know how much longer it's going to be available, so you can go to this complicated looking bit.ly link, or the link to register for that is in the description above this video. It's an hour long. It's free. Just put your sweatpants on, grab your favorite beverage, grab your favorite note-taking device, and sign up for that, because we're going to go into even more, the most important things. I don't cover like fluff crap that you don't need to know about in order to grow your business. I have tried a lot of things over the last like 5-8 years that haven't worked, and so I've compiled it into what I have actually done that has worked, so that you don't have to waste a ton of time messing around with things that don't work. So be sure to sign up for that and let me know how you like it. So, quickie recap of these 6 steps to take if you want to effectively grow your business with limited time each day. And I know I went over 15 minutes, but that's okay. Step number 1, identify your bridge. So you're working on one main project. Step number 2, you're going to write down all of the specific action steps for your bridge that you need to complete it and to refine it before you go on to the next one. You're going to step number 3, identify your top 5%. These are the activities that have a direct impact to your bottom line. These are usually the most scary and uncomfortable activities. Step number 4 is to refine and schedule. So you're going through, deleting and delegating what you can, scheduling the rest. And then step number 5, you are gonna be ruthless with distractions because you gotta get shiz done. And step number 6 is to sign up for my free masterclass for even more things to do. When you do these, you're gonna know exactly how to spend your limited time. You're gonna get more done more quickly. You're gonna start seeing better results because you're working on better things, and you're gonna be able to maximize all of your time and effort, however much that is, whether that is short, whether that's a lot. You're gonna know that you're working on the right things. All right, those are the 6 steps. Let me know if this helped. Go do those 6 steps within the next 24 hours if possible, so you can start maximizing your time. All right, bye guys. Silly dance, how do I end this broadcast? I'm not sure.